With us here today, we have something that's not your average car. This is a Mercedes AMG in an SUV. And clearly, it's not G63. This is something slightly different, a bit smaller, less boxy. It's a GLC43 AMG. First things first, let's talk about what powers this car. It's a bi-turbo V6 AMG engine, puts out around 390 horsepower, 520 Newton meters of torque, and for a car that weighs less than 1.9 tons, that's super fast. Instead of me just telling you it's super fast, how about I tell you this? It does 0 to 100 in 4.9 seconds and has a top speed of 250 kilometers per hour, which most of us in our lives will never go that fast. Now let's move on to looks. You get this huge Mercedes badge and another one over here. It has a name, but I don't remember it. Then you get white DRLs. Imagine this at night. Would it just look so amazing? A huge grill. I don't know if it's called a honey grill or honeycomb grill or what, but it definitely looks nice. And then you get your crisscross grill down here, which is where most of the air is sucked up from. For the side profile, you have a relatively long bonnet, kind of a hatchback shape in the back. Doesn't really look very coupe-like to me. Then you get your petrol tank, some black plastic over here. Your handles are white with chrome on top, and then your window lining is not chrome but black, which I think complements the car and gives it a better look. Coming back to the front, you have your bi-turbo badge over here, black side mirrors, and your side steps over there. In the back, which most SUVs will be looking at, you have your GLC43 badge over there and your AMG badge, as well as your Mercedes badge. It's very clean. The lights make it look nice. It doesn't have sharp edges like most modern cars do, which I think gives it a nice look and makes it slightly different compared to everything else. Then you get your black plastic over here with a kind of a diffuser. Not sure if it's functional. And your exhaust here. You can see this is just plastic because you can see the exhaust is actually inside. You get one here and one on that side. You get these very beautiful black rims which complement the rest of the car very well, and an AMG tuned braking kit which is 4 piston in the front and 2 piston in the back. Giving the drivers and his passengers a very smooth ride is a multi-linked AMG tuned suspension, air suspension by the way, and an electromechanically controlled speed sensitive steering rack and pinion. And you guys will have to forgive me for that stutter because it's quite hard remembering all of that information. I've already shown you these exhausts, but how about we take a listen and treat our ears. My ears are the happiest right now at this moment because from an SUV, other than those Nissan Patrols, this is amazing. Now let's see if the rest of my body will be happy with the comfort of this car. One thing I noticed when I enter this car is just how premium the door sounds. Now that we're inside this beauty, I'm just telling you the rest of my body, yes, is happy, and it has quite a number of features that normal cars wouldn't have. I won't just tell you what they are, so follow along with the video and get to find out for yourself. Let's start with the steering wheel of the car, because over here there's a lot going on. The first thing you'll notice is that it's a flat bottom steering wheel, which is standard in a lot of sports cars. Then you get your Mercedes badge, a lot of chrome, which is doing it justice because it makes it pop. It has a little bit of a pop. Then you have paddle shifters, which feel extremely premium. Multifunctional steering wheel, by the way. So you get your controls over here and over here. Your horn is premium, not plastic like Toyota. It's, I don't know, synthetic leather, rubbery. It feels rubbery. You get your gear selector here rather than here, which I feel is better because you get a lot of space to do other stuff over here. Then your other controls over here for your wiper, indicators, stuff like that. And then there's another feature that I really like on these AMGs is on your cruise control place, you get a place to set the speed limit so that you don't go over the speed limit and hence you'll not get fined. You also get access to a lot of other features such as your 360-degree camera, lane assist, parking assist, and a lot of other stuff. You also get your parking brake here, but I miss the ones that make sound, tuck, tuck, tuck over here. They're just the best. Now let's move on to our gauge clusters. These are semi-analog, semi-digital. These are digital, analog, sorry, on the side, and then there's a small digital screen in the middle. So like when you start your car, it has this really cool animation, and I don't know if it's fair to call it an animation, but it has a really fancy thing. And yes, I know there's no ETC card inserted. Now let's move to the center console. As you can see, it's very clean and very pretty. This is your screen. It controls a lot of stuff: time, vehicle settings, dynamic select, 360 camera, your operations manual, consumption. Then you get your classic, very premium feeling AC vents. Mercedes, obviously they have to be premium. Your AC controls over here, a place for DVD. And in case you guys didn't know, Mercedes just makes everything so premium. You can see this wooden kind of finish over here. Don't think it's real wood, but it definitely feels premium. And everything opens and closes smoothly. This opens to reveal your cup holders, and this button over here opens this center storage thing, which is lined with felt, and it's definitely very premium and can store a lot because it's quite deep. Then you get this thing to control your infotainment screen, your suspension, your traction control, and your dynamic select to put your car in sports mode and sports plus or comfort or economy. For seating in the front, you get these black leather seats with white stitching, really makes a nice pop, and they're relatively comfortable. They hug you very well without squishing you, which is a big plus point, especially when you are going fast. You get your Burmester sound system, your heated seat controls, and over here, in case you guys didn't know what these are, this like for one person, when they press this, it changes to their settings. The second person, it changes to the second person's settings, so on and so forth. Then up here on the roof, you get your whatever sunshade with your vanity mirror. It's not very big, but it does come with a light, so that's a plus point. Then you get a sunroof, a panoramic sunroof, so that even the people at the back can see it. And it's very easy to open. And you don't even have to keep it pressed because it goes all the way back itself. I don't know why I was pressing it for so long. Then you get light controls over here for your reading lights and even a sunglasses holder because it might be too bright. Correction, this is not a sunroof, it's rather moonroof because it doesn't open. And I just noticed something when coming out. It has this AMG badge over here and it's pretty fancy. Coming to the back, I notice I have a decent amount of foot space because you see I can move my feet all the way under this chair. A lot of leg room, knee room more like, as well as headroom because assume my head's like there, it's relatively enough. Then they have the rear passengers have these AC vents over here, storage in the doors over here, more storage in the door over here, their window control, Burmester sound system, and even heated seats. Heated seats. Plus it has isofix points, so you can even carry your children. Just don't speed when you're carrying your children because their lives matter too. Then there's storage over here in this armrest that comes out like that. You can use it as an armrest. You can open here, and this is lined with felt, by the way, so it feels nice, soft, and you can store stuff like sunglasses and stuff here. Then there's these cup holders which come out like that, and then you can put your drink. It's relatively fancy, premium, soft feel. Everything is just nice in this car. The only one thing I wouldn't recommend this car for is if you have a huge family like 3 or more kids, then this place in the middle isn't very comfortable, except if the person is short, because then they can actually rest their feet over here. When I was young, I used to fight with my brother for this seat because my legs could touch the floor. But for grown-up people, it's not very comfortable because it doesn't have very much leg room or foot room. Now let's check out the boot, which, it does open automatically, which is quite standard in today's cars. You get a relatively large boot with hooks over here. You can see them so that you can tie down rolling luggage. Small bins in the side. This one doesn't have one on the side. Then I think you can fold down these seats with this to get an even larger boot. But why are you using an AMG to transport stuff? You have to answer me. Then you get some space over here. I think it's big enough to store a small spare tire, but it's more for tools and other stuff. Because it doesn't have a dip in the boot and it's just flat, and it even has a piece of metal over here, you wouldn't be worried about scratching your plastic or your beautiful paint. I think that's about what you should know for an AMG, especially this GLC45. It's relatively fast. Actually, it's very fast, especially for Kenyan roads. It has a good ground clearance. It's not that wide, so it can fit into places other than your huge parking lot, because why would you want your car in the parking lot when you can drive it? So if you're looking for a car, especially to drive in Kenya, that's fast and has a good ground clearance without you making chapatis with the wheel, going off a bumps, this is a car for you. And if you want it, don't forget to go, you can check out my TikTok and DM me from there. And if you want to see this car in action, let me just put some clips for you right here. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in another one.